Bayley came out and gently tapped Shayna Baszler with a chair, and then she
over there. Anyway, it was awful.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Ring the Bell. This is the Wednesday night Women's Wars. I got it right.
Thank you.
You were like in check.
I snapped my neck.
My name is Joey, the dad bod demigod.
I am the interdimensional Shiro Moxie Molly, and I am so glad to see you guys here on our super fast, super loaded edition of the Wednesday night Women's Wars, because have we got so much to discuss. Not just the baller women's wrestling that happened, but like so much of it.
Yes, we've got NXT UK, we've got NXT, we got AEW's Full Gear, we've got AEW. Just for everyone in the comments, we're doing AEW Dark, alright? Yes, 5 shows, lots of matches. Let's go ahead and get this ball rolling. Over across the pond in NXT UK, we started off the women's action of the evening with Xia Brookside going one-on-one with the NXT UK Women's Champion, Miss Kaylee Ray.
I think it was a pretty solid match, more than a basic match, but I honestly don't have any standout moments on this match. Honestly, as far as NXT UK goes, the match was solid, but it was a little bit of a letdown. Like, there's nothing that's standing out in my head.
It was solid. It was fluid. It's a lot that I've come to expect from both of these two. Xia herself is very light. She's very, let me try the head scissors. Like, she's kind of the typical smaller wrestler.
Correct.
And then you've got Kaylee Ray, who's just her smash mouth self. So finish kind of went as I expected. I didn't see Xia pulling the win out on this one.
No, just what's expected.
In the words of the great RuPaul, meh.
Prior to this, there was yet another one of those promos with Piper Niven with her amazing accent that you were doing for me earlier because he's great at it. Just telling us how everyone loves her and how she's worked so hard to be a wrestler. Just average women's wrestler stuff.
My name is Piper Niven, and I'm here to prove to all the little boys and little girls. Overall, a nice little hopeful Piper Niven promo.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll see more from her soon.
I see what you did there.
Not just a regular match like this match we saw, because I feel like what we've been seeing from Piper lately has just been meh.
We're going to go ahead and jump back over to NXT because speaking of Xias, we had
a different Xia.
There's too many Xias.
There's lots of too many double alliteration sort of names and people, and it's all kind of blending in and getting together, and I really miss gimmicky gimmicks and names and colors and everything.
Well, that's agreed, but like Xia is such a distinct name.
Yeah.
Like,
you couldn't come up with something else?
Yeah, it didn't bother me as much when it did bother me a little bit when Nikki Bella was on the roster full time and Nikki Cross was in NXT.
Yeah.
That got me a little bit. This gets me even more because I'm like, Xia's a very non-traditional name.
Right, and essentially they're both on an NXT product, and from what we've been seeing in recent weeks, those NXT products cross over with each other, so this does lend a possibility to have Xia versus Xia, which would be very confusing on commentary.
You know what else is confusing? Getting kicked in the face, because that's what happened in this match, because Xia Li went one-on-one with Aliyah, and Aliyah's accessory, Vanessa Bourne, was at ringside. This match did not last too long, as most Aliyah matches go. Xia Li straight up kicked that girl in the face.
She did. Xia did go over.
She did go over.
Which also, speaking of, we have on this show actually, Aliyah is one of the people we've been able to review the most, and I don't think she's gotten a win yet. And I'm not down with that. I like what she's doing. She's given us gimmicky.
Actually, myself and Cody Jones were talking earlier about this match.
Because they're best friends and see each other every day.
Aliyah's got a solid gimmick and it's a lot of fun, but she hasn't really, I haven't seen much improvement from her in the ring.
Okay, again, what I was saying when we were reviewing a couple weeks back the other two, I think it's indicative of the opportunities she's been given. So her gimmick and her mic skills are improving because too often they send her out as an accessory. Now she's finally being able to be the main mouthpiece and like wrestler, and
mean-
I feel like we're gonna start to see her skyrocket.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Is right now Aliyah's got a solid gimmick. She's serving face, she's serving fashion, but the equivalent to her on the NXT roster is she's the Heath Slater of the NXT women's division. She gets sent out there, she's going to lose. Once Aliyah came out, I was like, I kind of had a little bit of faith that maybe they might put her over with Xia, but no. Like, if she goes under to Xia, I don't see much more hope for them building her.
I like that. The Heath Slater of NXT.
She is. I love her. That's not a diss to her. It's just kind of the role she's put in. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it sucks because she's never going to do this or that. You need those people in wrestling.
Yeah.
You know?
When there was that whole big thing with Daniel Bryan saying he's an A player and Stephanie's like, you're a B player. Some of us are just B players. Like, we're there just to progress the story, and she might be one of those people. Yeah. Speaking of progressing the story,
we got to see some more build for the women's War Games match that's happening.
Yes.
I don't know how to handle the fact that this match is happening. This match is just getting better and better.
It's the other match on NXT this week.
The main event.
Yeah, main event for women, so that's baller. But also in that match, Io Shirai ended up going over on Mia Yim, giving Team Baslzer, what is it called? Advantage.
The advantage.
So I didn't understand it. They had to reach for a freaking suitcase, which is usually money in the bank, but yet she got an advantage.
The word they kept referring to it as something representational. I don't know.
Pinning someone represents that you won.
Fair, but this was a lot more fun. This match was amazing.
This entire match stole this week of women's wrestling.
Oh my god. Mia Yim broke her face. Aliyah broke her face. It was NXT's week of broken faces.
Yeah, unfortunately they broke their faces a lot. But not just because they broke their faces. This match, even if it didn't see blood, would have been phenomenal. What I liked about this match is it wasn't like you see on the flagship shows with the men where they just pull out ladders and tables and all sorts of things and try to put each other through them and over. I think I saw maybe a total of 3 ladders in the entire thing.
Yep.
But instead of trying to go for big impact stuff and just keep breaking ladder after ladder after ladder, these women got real creative and were finding ways to use the ladder as weapons, which we see sometimes. Usually it's just a couple times. This match was full of using the ladders as weapons.
Something I expected seeing Io come into the match because she's so innovative with everything she does. That's not saying that Mia isn't. It's just saying that every time I see Io step into the ring, I see something new.
No, which is why she's so exciting, and I want to keep seeing more from her, and which is why this match deserved to be main event and was better than main event quality, I would say. This is like pay-per-view main event.
This was pay-per-view main event quality.
Yeah.
You did have the run-in where once Mia got hurt, then Dakota came in, and the crowd wasn't really behind Dakota attacking Io. They kind of felt that they were like, ooh, like, why are you doing that? Like, they knew why?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
What did, though, was here she comes again. NXT UK Women's Champion, Kaylee Ray, comes and
with the assist for the win.
Assist for the win, but it was the spot of the night with Mia Yim going through that ladder on the outside. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is what I have to say, and I'll go into it more later. Those ladders are made cheaply to break, but they're made cheaply to break for like huge muscle men the size of like Triple H to go through that easily. The fact that it broke like a freaking toothpick with little, not in a disrespectful way, but little Mia Yim going through it means the impact was even more ferocious.
No doubt. That ladder crumbled like the XFL probably is in the next 6 months. Like, it's just the
shade.
It's set up for the final member for Team Baslzer. We got to see Kaylee Ray, and I'm excited to see her kind of...
Did they announce it?
It's confirmed. Like, that's her.
Also, I'm just waiting for, after that nasty... hit to the face that Mia Yim took where literal blood is pouring out of her face onto the mat. It's unfortunate, but I'm waiting to find out if she's going to be able to actually compete at War Games because there's no way she took that and doesn't have a concussion, even a mild concussion.
Right.
There's no way, like, her face, her face is going to break open again.
Yeah, that's a high possibility that Mia might get pulled.
So that being said, maybe we will see everyone's question mark favorite that everyone's been like, why isn't she in it? Why isn't she in it? Dakota Kai might have her opportunity yet. What are we doing this for?
It's Dakota Kai.
Oh, yeah.
Aside from the main event, which stole the show, then Someone came out on NXT with the attempt to steal the show, and they didn't. They got caught. That's the new sound effect for Bayley. Like, anytime Bayley appears, it just needs to be a...
Instead of being the... Balloon Man.
Oh, I didn't know what she was. I was like, what is this girl doing?
That's how they do it.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's just...
Bayley came out and gently tapped Shayna Baszler with a chair, and then she
over there. Hey. Anyway, it was awful.
Not as awful as the finisher that came after, where she was just like, she gently placed Shayna. Is Shayna hurt? Like, is there a reason Bayley went so soft on her? Because
maybe they were like, don't you dare hurt her because she's the pinnacle of everything else we're about to have happen.
She's about to go through a lot this upcoming week.
I know, so I'm saying they probably wanted to keep her fresh. But not that fresh.
Not that fresh, no.
You can bruise an apple and still eat it.
Bayley looked like she was dressed to go to the supermarket with her Karen hair and her comfy t-shirt and her yoga tights. I was like, come on.
I feel like Bayley as Pamela was really excited for this turn to a heel, but I feel like Bayley as Pamela quickly was like, this is exhausting, and I'm not even feeling heart or anything from her. Like, maybe she just seriously misunderstood, but like, even though the hugger gimmick I felt went on a little too long, I at least felt something.
Yeah, really solid showing from NXT. I'm excited for War Games, but we have a lot to cover over on the AEW side of things, so let's head over and talk about some All Elite Wrestling. We had a phenomenal pay-per-view this past Sunday. It was AEW's Full Gear, and they treated us to one match on the card, as per usual, but we did get a dark match that happened on the buy-in between B. Priestley and Britt Baker.
We've already seen B. Priestley and Britt Baker wrestle several times. They say there's some sort of storyline there, but they're still not really super, like, I want to hear from B. Priestley.
They did that promo before the match. The promo itself before the match was 10 times better than that match.
Britt Baker.
The only thing that stands out to me between the match and the promo is Britt Baker literally saying, I know every part of the mouth, so B, come at me, I'm gonna rip your jaw off. Like, that was like, okay, I see.
Can't get over? Use the F word.
Exactly. AEW uses the F word, everyone on WWE says bitch. That's it. Yeah. That's how they do it.
Nothing special again. Britt Baker goes over with the mandible. Claw or clutch or whatever it is. On to the next one.
Yeah, let's just move on. Our women's championship match, because it was teacher versus student. And if you didn't know it was teacher versus student, commentary was sure to remind you that it was teacher versus student every freaking 5 minutes.
True. That being said, I feel like this is finally what I've been wanting and needing from Riho. The charisma was higher, the energy was higher, the moveset was just, baller and amazing. It ended up being Riho goes over, retains her title with a roll-up.
It was kind of like a package, just like she stacked her up, but it was impressive is a better word.
Yeah.
Series of pinfalls and like just
falsies. Yeah.
Well, it was just kind of like some nice little chain pinfall kind of deal. Like, I was like, oh, okay, this is some stuff I've never seen before. The match itself had one moment that stood out to me. Hardcore double stomp that Riho delivered to Emi on that ring apron. Oh my god.
I mean, this match, both of them, I think it was a great showing of what they can do. And I think it's finally what we've been asking for from both of these competitors. I don't know, it was solid. I liked it.
Overall, really solid pay-per-view. Is a lot better than the weekly shows, at least for me, which is honestly what a pay-per-view should be. So, solid.
Do I want to see Riho with this amount of charisma on weekly shows? Yes, because I feel like that amount of charisma is what you need on a weekly show, and then it needs to be 10 times even more on a pay-per-view. That's my only qualm this week, though.
This week on AEW's Dynamite, we saw Nyla Rose.
The native beast, Nyla Rose! Woo! I'm a little nervous, to be honest, because this is huge.
You're making me nervous. Like, you like such energy. Like, what an intro. Oh my god.
I do that when I like start filming. I'm
I
like,
love it.
Nyla Rose, she's back in action. She faced Danny Jordan, a jobber.
Yeah.
That's what her job was.
Yeah, she was definitely a local. You could kind of definitely tell she was a local. Was it cool to see a local jobber get some offense in or defense in on the person who signed? Yeah, but if it was going to be a squash, it should have just been a squash.
Should have been a squash.
Because this ended abruptly, and I was like...
It was just too long. I'm like, if you're going to do a squash match, squash her.
Yeah, just squash.
I like the fact that she could get a few moves in. That's fine. But, like, as far as character development, it just needed to be a squash.
Yeah,
really did.
I will say that it might have been the amount of time it was, because wasn't it the only female match we saw on Dynamite?
Yes.
So maybe that's why they actually gave it time, but save the squashes for Dark.
Yeah.
Like, we're already seeing so little, and you're already giving them so little. Just save it.
But we did get to see, I think, the Dynamite debut of Allie.
Yeah.
I don't think Allie's been on the weekly show yet.
Nope, she's only been on Dark.
She was out there and having an interview where basically she talked about how much she loves Memphis.
Yeah.
And that was about it before the lights kind of went out and Awesome Kong and Brandi Rhodes came out a la The Fiend style, where she's got a belt of hair around her, and then Allie ran up and attacked Awesome Kong and they beat her down, and then Brandi, the demon barber of Flint Street, decided to cut off her hair and add some more hair to Awesome Huntsman Kong's belt.
I did see this, and if you're wondering why my face looks questioning, I'll tell you. Because I don't understand.
I don't either. What the?
She's got a hula hoop of bad weave.
Weave a hoop.
Weave a hoop. Weave a hoop. Ooh, I like the way you say that too. Weave a hoop. Awesome Kong has some sort of huntsman, also little bit biting the kind of style and concept I feel of Nyla Rose's gear. Even though the gimmicks are separate, the gear is very similar looking, except those boots.
Those
and
boots
that
are Party City, girl. Go back to Party City where you belong.
Weave a hoop, and then you look like you're from Snow White. You were a witch, and like cut hair off, and I don't get it. And
No.
I want to so badly. And
Yeah.
there's a rumor saying that this is the storyline that Brandi and Karma were supposed to do when they were both in WWE. But forgive me, in my brain, the timelines of them both being in WWE don't add up for this to happen.
I'm glad it didn't happen.
There's probably a reason it didn't happen.
Because
like, this
belt
just,
of weave is bad idea.
yeah, this just doesn't make sense. I'd like to think it's not the ladies' ideas. I'd like to think that they're being kind of fed this
I feel
storyline
like
slash
this is
gimmick.
straight up Brandi Rhodes' idea.
Really?
I feel like it is. I just do.
This is just falling under that scope that we haven't gotten very good creative for the women's division in AEW yet. And listen, this isn't me downing the women or their talent at all, because I've said over and over, they have a roster of phenomenal women.
Like Allie.
Even the locals they pick are, pretty solid. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that I would be, over the moon if I ever even got considered for it. So please don't think that I'm talking bad about the ladies in the show. I just feel like they aren't getting paid enough attention. From being told it's a women's division like we've never seen, it's very reminiscent of everything we've seen.
And we keep saying that every time we
Yes.
review this weekly show.
And you know what? We had a thoughtful comment once that someone was listing that Kenny Omega, first of all, why put a man in charge of a women's division? Why don't you get a creative team full of women? Let's start there to see what we might really want and feel empowered about. But that aside, Kenny Omega is in charge of it, and he is doing so much at AEW, and I don't think he's given up all of his indie dates as well. He's in and out of Japan. I just feel like he might be too busy to concentrate on what this women's division needs. Because let me tell you, product versus product is AEW as an entire product, like skyrocketing, all of wrestling stock and being amazing. Yes, but it's weak in the women's division.
It really is, and here's hoping that it can improve, but AEW Dark is a different story, so why don't we go ahead and talk about that really quick.
Let's turn it down the lights.
everyone. You asked for it. You've commented. You've messaged us. You've tweeted us. And here it comes.
The power of social media!
Just like the new Sonic movie, we're going to review AEW Dark. So the reason we haven't really been looking into AEW Dark is that actually the date that it airs is on Fridays.
Yeah.
So we are kind of reviewing before it happens. So
we're going back
backward
to what was just aired last Friday. So AEW Dark will always be lagged and delayed.
Yep.
If you want it, this is just what you're gonna have to deal with.
This week we got 2 matches on AEW Dark for the women. First match was Big Swole going one-on-one with Hikaru Shida.
Am I wrong that I believe that this was the match that got her signed, Big Swole? This was her last match before she was unsigned with AEW. I think 2 days after this match aired on AEW Dark, we found out the Big Swole got signed. So congratulations to you, girl. You deserve it.
She's very talented. So this is,
And she's swole.
she's swole.
I love it.
But overall, solid match. We saw Hikaru pick up the win. Just a solid
I'm going to
match
say
for them two.
more than solid. Honestly, and this is no shade, I enjoyed watching this match more than the Aliyah and Xia Lia match.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
No
so
lie.
more than solid. Like, above average solid. I don't know. I don't even know how to say that, but if you're watching, above solid.
It's like a Xia Brookside Kaylee Ray match.
Yeah.
Or above that. I think above that.
Just a little bit above that.
Yeah, we did get a second match also on AEW Dark. It was the unlikely team of Nyla Rose and the librarian Leva Bates.
Sort of.
Kinda. A little bit. There's an addendum there. Big asterisk.
Right.
Going up against the team of Shazza McKenzie and Shalandra Royale.
Yes, and we want to point out that one of the main reasons we made a point to put AEW Dark on is Shalandra. You reached out. Not only were you in the match, but you're a fan. You told us what you wanted, and so we want to give you a little shout out. Thanks for all the support. We adore you. You're
should've
amazing.
won.
You guys should have won. Yeah, I totally agree with that. But we just
Actually,
wanted to shout out to you.
I don't know. Leva's one of my friends.
Well, we didn't even get to see her in the freaking match.
She got like Nyla threw another chick into Leva. This is a whole mess. The match itself, I feel, solely supposed to showcase Nyla.
It was definitely a 6th grader wearing clogs. It was clunky.
It was.
Joey has left the building. It's a good analogy.
It's really good. It went on too long, I think, for what they were trying to push. Again, kind of like Nyla's match that happened on AEW this week.
Since I am not just a fan, I am someone who wrestles, I could be very wrong. But for me, being in the position where I'm the green person in the match, which means you listen to the vet, but also being the vet and the green person listens to me, I'm in the middle where I get to be both, like, depending on where I'm wrestling at. It seemed like Shalandra and Shazza being good greenies or good unsigned talent and listening and listening and listening and just waiting to collect knowledge from Nyla, and no shade to Nyla, to me it just seemed like she wasn't communicating to them as the vet / signed person in the match to keep the flow going, not chunky.
I understand that.
Because nothing that the girls did, Shalandra and Shazza, nothing that they did slowed down or chunked up what was happening in the match. I think for the most part, everything they executed was flawless.
Yeah, their nice little hope spot they got was...
Right.
Yeah.
And what we saw, obviously, because Leva Bates never got tagged in fact, she got attacked by her own tag partner.
And then she didn't react to it. She just drank some coffee, which, good on you, girl. That's what I would do. I'd
Yeah.
drink some coffee.
The biggest proponent of this match was Nyla Rose, and that is why I think she wasn't communicating enough, because when you're in the match the most, it basically, not solely, but mostly relies on you to push the match.
It also kind of seemed like that's what she was told to do in the back. So
To be clunky?
overall, it seemed a little bit like they're just giving Nyla too much time. If she's going to be a dominant powerhouse,
Yeah.
make the matches quick. I still am holding out a little bit of faith.
It was a good match. It was just clunky. It wasn't flowy.
It's time
It's time
for
to go.
the Boom Blast moment of the week. And just because I didn't get to say it this week because she wasn't on it, but DS had to go and try me. This is my brutality!
Do it with me. The other two. This is how you do it, DS. Do it.
Paloma trying to steal our stuff.
The
other
other two. This is how we do it.
This is how we Boom Blast moment of the week for me, hands down, is Mia Yim going through that ladder.
I'm glad Mia Yim is your Boom Blast moment of the week, because my Boom Blast moment of the week is not only Mia Yim going through that ladder. I get amazed by professionalism. Just even before that happened, when this went in, she's like, you know what I mean? She's down here. You see her not giving away the business. Her talking to the refs. You see all the refs like trying to communicate between themselves and listen to what they're making up for the storyline in the back and make sure she's okay. And then out of nowhere, she pushes them all out of the way, pushes her off the match. And much like what happened to Rhea Ripley last week, Mia Yim just does the damn thing and gets it done.
Oh.
That is amazing professionalism. That is amazing athleticism. That is amazing concentration to overcome all the pain and all the odds and bring that match home.
And let's go ahead and note that this might be the first time that one person has received both of our Boom Blast moments.
I think that's true. Mark it out in history.
That does it for this giant week of reviews. Moxie,
Joey?
where can people find you? You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Joey_Mayberry or Joey Mayberry on TikTok.
You can find me on, I don't know why I sang that. You can find me on all social media platforms. That includes Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat at THEE Moxie Molly. It is down here.
In the crotch.
And don't forget to ring that little bell, subscribe to our channel, like our video, or don't. The choice is yours. And leave some comments about what you want to see, what you want to hear, what you think, how fabulous my hair is, how wonderful Joey is.
These titties.
Whoa, I was about to say how he didn't know what shirt to wear, but titties.
These titties. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to look down below for all the links and some merchandise. And we will see you next week for the next installment of the Wednesday Night Women's Wars.
What?
Bye.